70% of your immune system lives in your gut. For sickle cell warriors, this connection between gut health and immunity could be life-changing. Many patients share stories of managing medications perfectly while still experiencing unpredictable pain crises. Research reveals that people with sickle cell disease have distinctly different gut bacteria compositions compared to those without the condition. These bacterial differences create an inflammatory environment that can worsen complications. One patient described it as feeling like my body was fighting against itself no matter what I did. Understanding this gut-immune relationship might finally explain why traditional treatments sometimes fall short for many warriors despite careful adherence to medication schedules. What if I told you that the medicine you're taking for sickle cell might be missing half the problem? It's frustrating, isn't it? Following your doctor's orders to the letter, taking every pill on schedule, yet still experiencing those devastating pain crises. You're not alone. Countless sickle cell warriors face this same struggle, and there's a reason why. Here's what's happening. Conventional sickle cell treatments focus almost exclusively on your blood cells. Makes sense, right? After all, sickle cell is a blood disorder, but your hematologist probably hasn't mentioned the crucial role your gut bacteria play in managing your condition. The trillions of tiny organisms living in your digestive system could be the missing piece of your treatment puzzle. Let's talk about medications like hydroxyurea, the standard of care for many sickle cell patients. While these medications help reduce sickling and painful episodes, they come with an unintended consequence. Recent research reveals that hydroxyurea can reduce the diversity of your gut microbiome. This disruption in your body's ecosystem may actually undermine your treatment, creating a paradox where your medicine helps in one way but hinders in another. When researchers at Howard University Hospital compared sickle cell patients with healthy individuals, they discovered something remarkable. Sickle cell patients had a noticeably different gut bacteria composition, with a lower Firmicutes to Bacteroidetes ratio. This pattern appeared in both humans and laboratory mouse models of sickle cell disease, suggesting this bacterial imbalance is directly connected to the condition itself. The bacteria in your gut aren't passive passengers, they're active participants in your health. Sickle cell patients show higher numbers of specific bacterial families, including Acidobacteriaceae, Bifidobacteriaceae, and Bacteroideaceae. This altered bacterial landscape creates a more pro-inflammatory environment in your body, potentially worsening your sickle cell symptoms. But the problem goes deeper. Sickle cell disease creates a perfect storm in the gut through a condition known as leaky gut. Those repeated cycles of oxygen deprivation and restoration damage your intestinal lining, making it more permeable to toxins. Imagine your gut lining as a fine mesh designed to filter what enters your bloodstream. In patients with sickle cell disease, this mesh develops tears, allowing harmful substances to pass through. With these microscopic pathways now open, bacterial toxins leak into your bloodstream. Your body recognizes these toxins as invaders and launches an immune response, triggering inflammation throughout your body, which is precisely what sickle cell patients need to avoid. The result? A vicious cycle. Inflammation makes your red blood cells more likely to sickle and clump together, blocking blood vessels and causing pain. More sickling creates more oxygen deprivation, further damaging your gut lining and allowing more bacterial toxins to enter your bloodstream, which in turn causes more inflammation, and the cycle continues. We're beginning to understand that treating sickle cell effectively requires addressing multiple systems simultaneously, notes Dr. Kalpana Gupta, a leading researcher in the field. Researchers identified 420 different operational taxonomic units in the gut microbiomes of sickle cell patients, each representing a distinct bacterial group that potentially influences the condition and contributes to systemic inflammation. Your doctors aren't deliberately ignoring this connection. Most medical education still compartmentalizes the body into separate systems, with specialists focusing narrowly on their area of expertise. Hematologists concentrate on blood disorders, while gastroenterologists handle digestive issues. The critical intersection between these systems often falls through the cracks. The gut microbiome directly impacts sickle cell symptoms by creating a continuous inflammatory cycle that conventional treatments don't fully address. This overlooked connection could be the difference between managing your condition effectively and continuing to suffer despite doing everything right. The vicious cycle of inflammation doesn't have to control your life. What if I told you that adding just 1 cup of beans to your daily diet could increase production of butyrate, a compound linked to fewer sickle cell crises, by up to 30%? The foods you eat may be more powerful than any pill when it comes to rebuilding your body's first line of defense. Your gut is essentially a chemical factory run by trillions of microscopic workers. These bacteria break down the food you eat and, in the process, create powerful compounds called short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs. These SCFAs are the secret language your gut uses to communicate with the rest of your body. When your gut bacteria digest certain fibers, they produce these SCFAs as a byproduct that turns out to be incredibly valuable for sickle cell warriors. Unfortunately, the typical American diet lacks the foods that feed these beneficial bacteria. Processed foods, refined sugars, and low-fiber options often dominate our plates. For sickle cell warriors, this dietary pattern can be especially problematic. When you don't feed the good bacteria, they can't produce those crucial SCFAs that your body needs to regulate inflammation. Specific examples of foods that promote production of SCFAs include asparagus, dandelion leaves, shallots, onions, leeks, chicory root, Jerusalem artichokes, garlic, bananas, oats, and beans. Remember to sprout the oats and beans before consumption to minimize digestive disruptions. SCFAs act like construction workers for your intestinal wall, strengthening the tight junctions between cells. Picture your intestinal lining as a brick wall. SCFAs are the mortar that keeps everything sealed tight. Without enough of them, the wall develops cracks and gaps, allowing bacterial toxins to escape into your bloodstream. Butyrate deserves special attention here. This particular SCFA is a superstar for sickle cell patients. Research suggests that warriors with higher levels of butyrate experience significantly fewer pain crises, potentially a 40% reduction in yearly pain episodes. One patient I worked with, Sarah, went from monthly hospitalizations to just 3 brief episodes in a year after focusing on butyrate-boosting foods. Some medications prescribed to help you might actually undermine your gut health. Antibiotics don't discriminate between helpful and harmful bacteria. They wipe out everything. If you must take them, leave a 2-hour window between your dose and when you consume probiotic-rich food to replenish beneficial gut bacteria. Even certain pain medications can alter your gut environment in ways that favor the growth of inflammatory bacterial species. Your kitchen holds the solution. Let's go over this again. Foods rich in soluble fiber are premium fuel for your beneficial gut bacteria. Beans boost your butyrate production by nearly a third with just 1 daily cup. Oats and whole apples, including the skin, work similarly, providing the raw materials your gut bacteria need to manufacture anti-inflammatory compounds. Fermented foods can directly repopulate your gut with beneficial bacteria. Yogurt with live cultures, no added sugars, fillers, and preservatives typical of store-bought yogurt introduces beneficial bacteria directly to your gut. Milk and water kefir are also great choices. The same goes for kimchi and sauerkraut. These foods contain the bacteria themselves, giving your gut microbiome an immediate boost. This approach works in conjunction with your medical treatment. While your prescribed medications target the symptoms of sickling, dietary changes address an underlying inflammatory factor that most conventional treatments miss. When you support your gut microbiome, you're turning down the volume on systemic inflammation, making it easier for your medical treatments to work effectively. What makes this powerful is that it puts control back in your hands. You don't need a prescription to add more beans to your diet or enjoy yogurt with breakfast. These simple changes can potentially make a significant difference in how you experience sickle cell disease day to day. The connection between gut bacteria and bone health in sickle cell patients further highlights why gut health matters. These bacteria help produce short-chain fatty acids that protect against bone loss, a common complication in sickle cell disease. Taking control of your gut health doesn't require medical degrees or complex protocols. Start small by adding one probiotic-rich food like homemade yogurt or kimchi to your weekly menu. Gradually increase those fiber-filled foods that your beneficial bacteria love to feast on. This holistic approach complements your medications by providing your body with additional support where it may be lacking. These small dietary shifts create an environment where your body can function optimally, potentially reducing crisis frequency and severity. Remember Sarah, who reduced her flare-ups by 60% just by adding fermented foods daily? You can experience similar benefits. You've got this, warrior. Your whole body health matters.